So today, I was just thinking about some things, and I just wanted to talk um, about the generations. About the motherhood and parenthood that is being followed by entire generation, and how it's not working, and it's not as effective as it should be, because I think the values, the rules that previous generation has set um, for their children. I think it's not viable. It's not viable because most of the time you think, okay, I think the world should be like this, that my mother has seen and my father has seen and my grandmother has seen. But with with knowledge and with knowledge and skills and with financial freedoms, we tend to question that should we live the way that our mothers lived. And you know it's not even it's not even the blame to them. uh, the dilemma and paradox is that we can't even blame them because they have been in that situation, right? And even though they had no choice, but I think my mother was a bit different from others, because what my mother usually she used to do is, she would be loud. She would talk back, and it's not very peaceful, it's not very nice, but obviously she used to fight back and talk back that, yeah, I'm carrying this whole emotional baggage of the entire family. I'm doing this workload, I'm doing this every other day without any financial, without any financial gain, or without any other kind of gain. But she always used to say this, that this is what I'm doing and I'm not supposed to do this, and women must not supposed to do this. And the fact that um it just click in my mind from an early from very young age, that uh, yeah, my mother is right. you know I, I can see her suffering, even though I was not a good obedient kid. I wouldn't do the home chores, and I used to, I used to give her headaches, but I think I had this, the kind of feeling for her that, this maybe, she's right, maybe there's something wrong with the system, and maybe this division of labor is not good. And but yeah, she, at the same time, simultaneously she used to impose that on me and, my brother and my other siblings as well. Even though she speaks, even though she speaks that this is not true, but she used to impose that to us, that she used to kind of, fear that if I wouldn't be the nice person, nobody would accept me. The in-laws, my in-laws would not accept me, the society would not accept the loud person. So yeah, you must tolerate. but um but yeah, I somehow downloaded that things, that I talked back. I have to talk back. This is how I learned to survive, right? And I cannot be silent. For the sake of the peace, I cannot be silent. And this is how we are doing for generations with the women, right? That being nice is rewarding. She's a good person. She keeps the family, she holds the conflicts, she's the mediator, she's the bond, the glue that keeps peace, that keeps the families together. But it's a lot for a human, it's a lot for an individual, right? And to be honest, I kind of, I'm most of my life I'm kind of messy person. I with no order. um it actually sounds, I'm not very proud of that, but yeah, most of the time, most of my life I was kind of messy human being. And maybe people think like, oh, she is not a lady, like she's not like uh, other ladies, other girls who take care of their presence or appearance. But yeah, appearance is, I think it doesn't, I didn't care about it initially, right? And I think, if people could see us, that the intellectual things, the intellectual resistance is, is the much more important thing, and it has been doing the more, most of the beneficial thing for the society, right? It's breaking the chain of the patriarchal systems. So if we train our mind to, if we train our mind, if we make our mind and put a lot of heat on our minds rather than our presence, then I think it would be far more better for our future generations. So this is how I think. I'm not someone who put down other ladies, other girls who are doing makeups, who are using cosmetics, because this is how they are raised, right? Right, according to Mary Wollstonecraft, she thinks that women are people put her in the cage, and she used to adorn it. She adorned it for the entire life. So yeah, I think we as a human, we as a people, parents, society, we put labels that, yeah, you were a girl, you should look pretty, and you should comb your hair, you should have your eyebrows done, and you should have your lips look like this, and you should wear something that is prettier, you should be nicer. And yeah, I think we have done it for centuries, since childhood. So obviously, when they become adult, they follow this. They follow the same things. So no offense to that, those who are doing it, right? But you know, I think like, if we have been raising, if we have been delivering, babies, if we are are the epicenter of the continuity of life, then obviously we have the power, right? We have the power to change the circles, to change the cycles, to break the cycles. Even though our mothers, our grandmothers, they couldn't, right? They didn't have a choice to do that. But you have, this is not 19th century, this is not 18th century, this is 21st century, and you can get education, you can get skills, you have internet over your places, and you can be financially stable being at home. And even if you are not stable, right? Let me tell you this, even if you're not stable, what you can do is, you can raise your kids differently. You can raise your kids, even if if you're compromising on something, even if you are tolerating everything, even if you have settled for less, that's okay. But please do not raise your kids like you are being raised. Please do something different. Please have your back for your daughters. Don't tell them they can't do this. Don't tell that they are not enough, good enough. And don't give the unnecessary privileges to your boys. um, Make them human, you know teach them that not everything is a cup of tea, and you can get it. You can, the other people in the house are servants for you, and they are going to serve you for the entire life. So I think this mentality should change. And yeah, um yeah, pretty much of it, I guess. And being as a woman is a dilemma in this society. When I know if I talk about these are things, these are issues that I've been thinking. But even if I talk, most people don't have the conscious to understand it, and people would be like, the first thing they would say, okay, this is not something, someone that we, we adore, this is not someone who we respect, because whether she is not taking scarf or not, whether she is behaving in a certain way or not. So I think, for most of the people in our society, the talk is futile, because they already don't, uh, what you can say, they already reject us, right? But yeah, the resistance, I always feel this, the resistance must be intellectual and must be intelligent, because whether you can go out, protest aloud, and spit out the narrative, but um, in your homes, if you are not doing the basic homework, in your homes, if you are not breaking the patriarchy, then it's not, it's not viable. The outside protest is not viable if you're only talking and not doing anything, any groundwork to break the cycle. So the first thing you would do is, like, your home, like, get educated yourself, have a skillful think, and be mindful about your time, be mindful about your skills, and do something different, dare something that people, other generations, wouldn't dare to. So this is how you break the patriarchy. So if you have the opportunity, just embrace it, go for it, right? You take risk, more risk, so self development, self enhancement is the biggest resistance we can ever have. Is the biggest resistance. Nobody can control you in that way. If you have your own authority, and if you have your own skill sets, if you have your own education, then obviously you're gonna beat it, right? Because nobody can control you. So yeah, intelligent resistances look like this, right? And when you have the capability to give back, when you have the capability to take it, then obviously you will take care of your parents, you take care of your siblings, like every other person would do. You'll take care of your husband, and you will take care of your in-laws as well, right? So in order, you will get along with the people, and it's very difficult, you will get along with those people, and you would do what you want to do, right? um Somebody said to me that independence is like saying no. If you can say no and do the things that you want to do, then this is independence, so for me, it's the least amount of independence for me is that I can say no, right? And I cannot be controlled, I think. So this is the least amount of independence, and it's not something that independence is free. uh, because you have to pay the price. No independence is free. Each step you take against norms, against values, in resistance to those values, then obviously you will give up something. You have to give up something. Maybe it cost you financially, maybe it cost you mentally, maybe it cost you physically. So yeah, those are the prices. Maybe people, you know don't come along with you. Maybe you lose supports, you know so all of the things, all of the intelligent resistance look like this. And if you're capable to endure the pain, and if you're capable to do these things, then obviously you can bring some changes. And if you cannot, which is in most cases, unfortunately, women cannot take risk, because it's comfortable, and the comfort cushion around her, the support around her, she cannot challenge it. So the amount of pressure, it's the amount of pressure that make her compulsive to do the certain things, um, in order to keep the silence, in order to keep the peace, in order to you know in order to be acceptable. She shrinks herself, and this is how the case for most of the women. And I don't have any grudges against the previous generation. Although I was furious as a teenager, I was a very furious person, and enraged over things, over injustices, a minor little inconvenience. But yeah, I think forgiving others for what they have, because they have the knowledge, their worldview was different. So for forgiving yourself and other people are the first thing you can do your own, your own thing, your own peace, for your own peace, right? And yeah, I think that was all I was thinking, and it was all because after I read this book, so Mother Mary comes to me, and I could relate to this mostly because for most of us girls, they know that how how a mother can be a shield and storm at the same time. She's the storm. She's cruel on you. She has stick in her hand while raising you, because she was the person who feared that you will not be the person who is acceptable for others, you know so it's the fear that let her do all the things that you think it's outrageous, right? And yeah, pretty much of that. And I think as a shield, I think my mother would understand me, whether whether I'm not communicating to her my issues. She would know that okay, I'm having these challenges, and I will get through it. Even when I talk to my mother, and I wouldn't say anything that I'm having this issue, but yeah, she would be like, okay, I'm thinking like you are having this issue. I was concerning about my health and about my career, and she would be like, I'm not concerned about your future. She was damn sure about my future. I'm not, but she was damn sure about my future, and she was telling me, okay, I'm not worried about your future anymore. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about your health, and I think you're gonna make it. I think you will do it. I'm not worried about your future. So that's in that way she's a shield, and in many ways she was strong. In many ways, yeah, you wouldn't if you wouldn't behave like this, people will not accept you. If you wouldn't do this, people will not accept you, and this is how yeah, this is how it is. And yeah, I'm still not acceptable for the society, and I'm still not acceptable. But yeah, I'm making the changes, and my mother would fear what I would do. My decisions are skeptical, weird, reckless, and I would give her mini heart attacks every now and then because of my decisions. But yeah, this is how I think change is done. This is how I guess. This is the need of the hour. This is how change will be done. Yeah, this is how resistance will be done. So, yeah, that's all about it for today. I think, I've talked a lot, I guess, like 18 minutes.